My Lords, this is a case of the Supreme Court of Namibia.
After all has been said and done, it's now time for the judges to reflect on the material and arguments brought before them and make a ruling, a decision that will be final as there is no chance for appeal. From the onset, the petitioners Raila Odinga and Africa Center for Open Governance questioned whether the election was conducted in a free, fair, transparent and credible manner. Therein lies the explanation whether the failure of the electronic kits used for voter identification was by design or otherwise. They also claim that 36,000 more voters were added into the voters' register after the registration window had been closed.
The register of voters goes to the root of the general elections. It goes to the root of the presidential elections.
What many wonder, though, is what would be the consequences of a ruling discrediting the validity of the election and the voter register.
You will then have to exercise your minds on what that means for the legality and constitutionality of all other elections predicated on the same register.
The judges will also have to determine whether Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were elected validly. The question here being, did they really attain the requisite 50% plus one vote to secure victory as stated in the Constitution?
Why or how did the petitioner come only with a disputed figure of about 8,000? That is the 8,000 or the threshold that will trigger a runoff. That's why I'm saying this is a boardroom petition. If they had a good case, why wouldn't they have brought evidence to show that the disputed vote, for example, is 200,000?
Petitioners Odinga and AFRICOG want the court to find it necessary to have a repeat election conducted.
If, for example, the voter register is itself impugned, then the entire electoral process has to be reviewed. We would also have to think about the creation of a new voter register, I think, which is something that can be done and ought to be done, and I'm not suggesting that that should be a hindrance to an outcome, but the outcome must have factored those issues into account.
A petition was also filed seeking an interpretation from the six-judge bench on whether the rejected votes ought to be included in the final tally of the presidential results. Arguments supporting and opposing the petition were eloquently stated before the judges, even though it's clear to both sides that whatever decision the judges make on this matter will only affect future elections.
Any ballot paper, be where votes are marked or appear to be marked against names of more than one candidate and so on, shall be void and shall not be counted. And that is the beginning of this confusion. Is a vote synonymous with a ballot paper?
That distinction is a distinction without a difference.
Whatever decisions the judges arrive at will not only have legal consequences, but also political. And so the country awaits for the judges to sift through the evidence and arguments presented to them and give their verdicts as required by the Constitution. Sylvia Chebet, Citizen Weekend.